Hello, everybody.
Hey.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good.
Doing great.
Great. Well, it's Sunday. It's cold. It's gloomy, but
It's a happy Sunday.
it's a happy Sunday. I'm not gonna complain about anything. It's a beautiful Sunday. So, Jay, you have to tell us where you are and what is the weather like there.
I am in Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia, and
Okay.
weather's it's hit or miss. It's been up and down lately. Today it is. I want to say it's in the high 50s.
Okay.
Because it rained yesterday, and so normally in Atlanta, when it rains, the next day after or the few days after that it's gonna be cold. And so,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
That's something. So 50 is a miss for you and you're cold.
Oh, 50 is turtleneck weather. So
Yeah.
y'all seen I have a turtleneck on.
I know.
Yeah, because when he first started up, he had that shirt on, and I'm like, he put on a whole shirt. Right?
I was like, I gotta take that off because
Oh my goodness.
y'all been telling everybody you got the fitness guy coming on. He got to show something off.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Because guess what? We're not complaining.
No.
I'm right there with you.
So, everybody, if you have been watching us in the past, Jay have been, on the show with us before. This is not his first time here, but we are glad to have you back.
Yes, we
Jay Jackson, he is a fitness coach and he is also a expert nutritionist. So if you follow his page, he gives dozens of tips, weight loss tips. He show you videos of exercises to do, and he also have people who give testimonials on his page all the time too, of their before and after pictures, which is pretty impressive as well. So we are glad to have you back on All the Way There podcast. We might have to just make this a thing. I'm almost thinking that Tanya and I are gonna probably be in Atlanta next year. And so we're probably going to be seeing you in person. So who knows? We're just going to put that out in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then we can all be on a panel together and just be like, Jay, show us, without the tailgate.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that energy.
Okay. So today, our topic, our icebreaker is, have you ever regifted a gift? And if you have regifted a gift, have you ever given a regifted gift back to the person that gave it to you? So who want to start? Jay, you're the guest. We'll let you start.
Okay. I have regifted a gift before. But
Okay.
Luckily, I did not regift the gift that they gave me back to them. It was to somebody else.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It was a gift card to I believe it was Honey Baked Ham or something like that, restaurant or something.
Oh, that's a good regift.
Yeah.
For people who eat ham, that's a really good one.
Those sandwiches are good though.
Yeah. So I'm big on eating seafood. I'm a seafood guy.
Okay.
Mediterranean seafood. I'll eat that too, but I just wanted to gift it to somebody else because I felt like they would like it.
Well, people who paid $100 for those hams, I'm sure they were pretty glad to get that gift card because I've heard those hams are expensive.
They are.
So, what about you guys, Kalani?
No, I haven't. I haven't regifted. No.
Okay.
If it's something that I can't use, I'll probably give it to somebody else, but not all gifted up as a present or something like that. Just because. But no, I haven't regifted.
Okay. What about you, Tanya?
I'm just thinking, my mother just gave me a shawl that my sister gave her, so she regifted. So I was over her house last weekend, and she had me looking for something, And I pulled out something that I thought was cute. I was like, Mom, I want this. She was like, you can have it. Cynthia gave it to me. And my sister, and my sister was over there. And so when I took it out of her house, I had to like put it under something else. And I took it. She regifted it to me. So yeah. But I don't think I ever regifted anyone anything.
Well, I have, and it came back to bite me. So I don't wear a lot of, I do like costume jewelry, but I am very fickle about what I like. Okay. Someone had, gifted some costume jewelry, and I gave it back to other people as gifts, from my child, right? She was much younger. And I'm like, okay, you can wrap this up and give this to them, and you wrap this up and give this to them. Well, they all came together and talked about it. So with the person that gave me the stuff. So I was like, I think I have this from you already. And I'm like, so the person, got in touch with me, and I was like, you didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. Well, I really don't feel like I have to discuss that with you. I just thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna, who's gonna go back and say, I really don't like this gift. I just didn't really realize you guys would end up in the same room together.
Was it a family member or was it a friend?
It was a family member, but this is the thing. I didn't think that they were crossed like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was the topic of discussion, and yeah, they were actually pretty heated about that. Well, the way I look at it, it came from a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go well. So yeah, I got talked about. I got a couple of posts made about me too on Facebook.
Oh,
it's all good. It's all good. Oh, hi, Crystal. Glad to have you here this evening. And with that being said, guys, we got a lot to cram into this little 50 minutes. We, thank everybody for jumping on. Crystal, our faithful person, we know you shared the podcast. So, where are we going today?
all the way there.
All the way there.
Right there.
Where are we going today? All the way there. Let's go. Okay, before we get started, Tanya, you may have to explain your 50 by 50 because Crystal think you talking about 50%.
That's hilarious, right? Because the only time I really was I was back in Michigan State and I had a few. But no, 50 by 50, let me explain. I'll be 50 May 20th, 2021. And what I'm saying is that I need to lose at least 50 pounds by then. So that's 50 pounds by the age of 50. You don't want me.
That's what that means.
That's what that means.
That's what that means. Not 50 Cent, the rapper.
No.
Oh, she just means she's just talking about you, period, with your personality. Yeah, because remember she came on here dressed like
security.
And you were security, but you looked like Ice Cube. So that's probably what she's talking about. Okay, Crystal, she won't take it personal.
No,
but let's jump into this. Jay, we know at the end of the year, everybody talk about New Year's resolutions, getting their lives back in order. They want to start having epiphanies. They want to go see all kind of gods and just get things back in this proper perspective. So we've been having a self-care month because we know that December it's a very hard month for a lot of reasons. Family members are estranged or lost. 2021 was a really, really tough year for a lot of people, whether you lost someone to COVID, got COVID, or just knew people who were affected by it. It was a tough year. So we wanted to encourage people to kind of keep their minds to, whole during this month, not feeling lonely, not getting caught up in, I don't want to say caught up in depression, but not letting depression consume you, because it can do that during these times. Money, a lot of people don't want to admit that this might not be my year to really want to spend money, but they do it out of obligation. So they start, feeling sad or feeling some kind of way because they have to carry that debt over into next year. So all month we've been talking about self-care. And so we could not leave out the body part of it.
And Keela, can I add to that too, just with it being the end of the year and the season, that COVID has separated us so much, and that even though people experience loneliness, it's like a double dose of loneliness because families aren't really getting together now because of COVID. Because some are vaccinated, some people are not, and it's just created this false division amongst us when it really shouldn't be. So that's another reason to pray and just think about those people that are going through like a double dose. Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. So Jay, we brought you on here because who better to talk about the physical part of this, which we know include the mental part, but primarily the physical part of it, because I see you work hard on your post. And sometimes this is going to be a guilty shame, but sometimes I be watching you do those exercises and I be eating chunky monkey, and I'd be like, boy, he is really working out. I really need to be doing this. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But the point I'm making is that's what we're gonna talk about today. So, you've been on before. We've talked about a lot of things, but let's start out with people just getting their minds back in order, for working out physically, fitness. So how do we begin there?
Okay, so for people who are just wanting to get the journey started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the biggest questions a lot of people ask me. They say, Jay, how do I get motivated to want to work out, right? Because losing 20 or 30 pounds, that may be the goal. We should all have a goal, but understanding why that goal is important is also important. And so, for example, everybody's going to be a little bit different. And so for a lot of the entrepreneurs I help, they want to drop 20 or 30 pounds, and so that they're not feeling insecure when they're around other entrepreneurs at business events, or if they're showing some real estate or something like that, or if they're talking on like via Zoom, to a prospect or something. They don't want to have to feel insecure. But then there's other people, they have family, and they want to drop 20 or 30 pounds so that they can not have to worry about their health. Because worry, it can stress people out a lot. And
definitely.
So just understanding and saying to yourself, why do I want to drop 50 pounds? Why do I want to drop 30 pounds? Or whatever that number might be. Or let's say you want to gain some weight. If there's some guys maybe watching, or ladies that want to build up a little bit, why is it important to you? And start to really visualize what it would look like for you once you've accomplished that goal. How is it going to impact your life? Are you going to be able to go on vacations and feel, proud about wearing that two-piece? Or, for any guys that might watch, and not having to wear a shirt,
Right.
So,
Jay, I don't want to cut your thought off, but guys really don't care about that. And sometimes that bothers me, because just like guys don't want to see some of these girls walking around here without shirts. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. Go ahead with what you were saying. I mean, because they just be walking around. Guys, they will walk around looking any kind of way. And I'm like, really? How would you do that to us? But
yeah, I personally feel like we should all be working on. I feel like one of the biggest things 2021 has taught us is the importance of self-care. 2020 and
Definitely.
2021, because we see the COVID and you want to be healthy, but why not take it a step further and like just empower yourself all the way around, having great skin, having just good hygiene. I just started using I'm not trying to plug them, but Neutrogena, right?
So that's my favorite.
I want to make my face look all nice and glowy, you know? And so it's not just being in shape. It's like, I want to be the best me, you know? And so I feel like that's something that if people do that, that can maybe bring them out of a depression, because they're building themselves up. They're esteeming themselves. And so, you know, they're like, man, I feel great when I look at myself in the mirror. I love the way my clothes fit now. You know, I could reach in the closet and just grab whatever I want to, and it fits the way I want it to.
Right.
You know? And I feel like if people think about those things and even how it may impact the people that they care about, then that'll, you know, inspire and motivate people to really go out and make things happen. And that's what I was saying.
I think that's true. I think back to what you were saying, that really do play an important part in how you treat yourself and others. You know how you feel about yourself really affects the way you treat others. And that's how you can always tell when a person is feeling some kind of way. Like a lot of people say, you know, way a person treats you is how they feel about you. But when you really think about it, the way a person treats you is really how they feel about themselves. You know what I mean? That's really what it boils down to. You ladies had anything to answer?
Oh, just a side question. Do you act at all, Jay? Are you an actor?
Not outside of the marketing that I do for my business.
Okay, because you could be the next Black Panther.
Next Black Panther. You're the second person to say that.
Thinking. I'm just saying. What'd you say?
You're the second person to say
okay, that. So one more and that's
crazy.
It. We got to get this going. That was just my thought as I was sitting up here listening. Like
putting it out there into the universe. I might need to go. You know, Michael B. Jordan's his trainer works out here in Atlanta from time to time over at Lenox Mall. So I might need to link up with him and see if I can get in a movie or two.
Who knows? Never know where it might go. Just have to end up there at the same time. You never really know.
Right.
If anybody is watching and you have a question, now would be your time to ask why Jay is sitting on the panel, and you can get his direct answer. But a question that no matter how far people are into working out, they've stopped, they've started, they've stopped, they've started. Everybody wants to know about belly fat. And I know you talk about belly fat a lot on your page. So clearly it's one of the higher problems.
Yeah.
So can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I think belly fat is one of the biggest things, because not only does it affect our appearance, but it's also correlated with our health. And so that's why I believe it's so important to, you know, promote and talk about how to get rid of it, because for a lot of men might not say this to women, but it causes like erectile dysfunction and things like that. And so people that are in marriages or maybe in just relationships, if their partner has a lot of belly fat and he's, you know, struggling at times, that may be one of the big reasons, you know. And so if you have a lot of belly fat, also behind that, you're probably going to end up having like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. And so that's one of the biggest reasons I talk about it, to bring awareness to how important it is to have not even a six-pack, but just have a flat stomach. You know? And so that's one of the biggest reasons I talk about it. I think one of the biggest misconceptions that people have when it comes to belly fat is they think that sit-ups and crunches are going to get rid of the belly fat. But that's not how it works. It's important to do those things because it strengthens this. But a lot of times people will reach out to me, and this happens almost every week. And like, Jay, I've been doing sit-ups, I've been doing crunches, I've been doing all these ab exercises, but you know, it seems like my stomach's gotten bigger. I could do more reps, but it's gotten bigger. And the reason why is because the muscles up underneath the fat are just pushing the fat forward. So you actually got to start doing proper nutrition, and that's the fastest path to being able to drop that stomach fat without killing yourself in the gym. And, that's what I'm all about. You know, getting in the gym in a short period of time, getting the job done, getting out of there, and allowing your diet to do the heavy lifting for you.
Do you believe in that eating for your blood type?
That's a good question. It can help, but it doesn't. You don't necessarily have to have it down to a T. You know, because when I think about eating to your blood type, a lot of times when people are focusing on dieting, they want to just focus on losing weight, right? But a lot of people don't think about energy management.
Right.
That's one of the biggest reasons I would say knowing your blood type and eating according to your blood type is important, because you want to make sure the foods that you are eating, it might be allowing you to lose weight, but are you able to sustain good energy? Are you able to stay focused when you're working on a computer, or just reading, or whatever it might be, just having that quality level of focus? And so that's what I would say as far as like blood type. But dieting in general, it's just energy management, knowing how much to eat, but not eating too less to where you're starving yourself, because that's where a lot of people tend to go. They deprive themselves of eating carbs, they cut out sugar completely, and they deprive themselves too much, and so they feel like they're starving. And who wants to diet if they're gonna feel like they're starving? And
Yeah.
What do you feel about the keto diet? It's like seems like everybody's doing keto.
What happened to keto? I really haven't heard about keto lately.
I haven't heard about it much either lately.
Yeah, because we'll let Jay, because he actually was just talking about this the other day on his clip. So how do you feel about it, Jay?
Yeah, me personally, can it work for people? Yeah, it can. It's a mainstream diet, and so people, it's been working for a lot of people, so that's how it became mainstream. But one of the big things I always talk about is goal-specific nutrition, and eating according to your personal situation. Yeah. Because there are a lot of horror stories. Like in my line of work, I do a lot of research. As a professional, I want to make sure I'm understanding what people are going through and just how certain things work. And so one of the ways I research is I'll go on Amazon.com and read reviews, good and bad, about certain books. And so one book came up about keto. And this isn't to shame keto, because there are people that their lives have changed with it. But there are other people who had horror stories with keto. And the reason why is because the diet wasn't compatible with their body type and with their way of wanting to eat, like their lifestyle, their food preferences and things like that. And so keto works just like, fasting and the Atkins diet, Weight Watchers, all these things work. But the biggest secret to being able to drop weight and keep it off is figuring out the best diet and nutrition and the workout regimen that's the most compatible for your goals and situation. And when you get that, life just gets easier. You won't feel like you're suffering trying to get the results and feeling like it's hard to be able to sustain the results.
So how do you determine that, though? How do you determine what's best for you in nutrition and workout and diet?
That's a good question. It really comes down to self-awareness. And so a lot of times when people reach out to me that want to join my online coaching program, it's a few things I ask them. Like, for example, I asked them, hey, what type of foods do you prefer to eat on a weekly basis? Because what do we normally hear? You got to eat chicken and broccoli, or you got to eat salads to drop weight, right? But who wants to do that forever?
Right, exactly.
You're going to want to eat something, whether it's Oreos or tacos, pizza. You want to eat.
You're going to get bored.
Get bored. Exactly. And so one of the biggest things you want to focus on when it comes to your nutrition is just knowing what type of foods you prefer to eat. And when you understand whatever your height is and your current weight, that allows for you to get a gauge on how much you need to eat per day to lose weight. That makes sense? And so everybody has a certain amount of calories they need to eat each day to sustain their current weight. And so, for example, let's say I need to eat 2,500 calories every single day just to maintain my current weight. If I eat more than that consistently over a certain period of time, I'm going to gain weight.
Right.
But if I cut back on it, not drastically, not go from 2,500 to 500 calories.
500. Yeah, because some people do that. Yeah.
And even though they might lose weight quickly, they end up rebounding and gaining a lot of back
That is so true.
because they went in too far of an energy deficit. Calories is just energy. And so if you don't eat enough of it, you're going to feel like you're depriving yourself. So it's just knowing that proper balance to be able to drop the weight.
And you know what, though? I say if you can, seek the services or help of a professional. You know, it is like you were saying, Jay, that, you know, everybody was, you know, attaching themselves to the keto diet. But like you said, that may not work for your specific body type. So it's good to, you know, hook up with a professional who, you know nutrition and all of that, so they can specifically tailor make something for you.
100%.
Nutritionist is good. And and the one thing why I could never connect with the keto diet is because I'm not really I don't have a lot of dairy in my life. So a lot of those things with like a lot of cheese and a lot of peanut butter, high fat stuff, I'm like, this is gonna be totally. I get that it would probably help you, like you say. I don't know how it would help me because those things I just don't do for other reasons. They cause other things in the body, and I just didn't want to go there for those reasons. But yeah, everything that was on that menu, I just was like, no, no, no. Then they thought I was being negative, but I wasn't being negative. That just was not things that I did.
Yeah.
So you have somebody that says, let's talk about, somebody, my mother, let's talk about belly fat some more. What should we be eating and drinking to reduce this? Not a big fan of sit-ups. You know what, Mom? Not a big fan of sit-ups. So what should she be eating or drinking?
Good question. So there is no good or bad food. You can lose weight and lose belly fat eating pretty much anything. It really just comes down to being in a calorie deficit, aka eating less. And so the first step I would tell anybody is identify how much you need to eat to sustain your weight first, right? And so if that number is 2,000 calories or 1,500 calories just for you to maintain and sustain your weight, now cut that number back by, let's say, 300 calories or 500 calories. And so now you can start losing weight subtly. You don't want to lose it drastically because you're going to end up rebounding, or you're going to feel like you're like suffering because you're not going to be eating enough. You find yourself having headaches and irritable, and nobody wants that. And so that's what I would say first. I can't necessarily give you a specific food to eat because that's out of my scope, and no professional should say, hey, you got to eat this food, because I don't know if you have allergies to certain types of foods. But you can pretty much eat anything. I would definitely say keep protein in your eating regimen. Pretty much every meal you should have some type of protein. And this is something that I tell my online coaching clients. You want to find a solid 3 foods for each food group. So let's say for proteins, your proteins are normally meats. Okay, so mine that I typically eat are chicken. I'm gonna have steak, and then I'm gonna have some type of fish. It might be mahi or some shrimp, right? And those are my 3 go-to foods on a weekly basis. Proteins, and I may step outside of that box with proteins, but those are my go-tos. Okay, and then you have your vegetables. I have my asparagus. I may eat some kale. I may eat some spinach. And what it does is it simplifies what foods you're going to be eating on a daily and weekly basis, because everybody's life is busy.
Right.
And if you haven't simplified your thoughts on what foods you're going to eat on a daily basis, then by the time you get hungry, you're not trying to think. You're just trying to eat. You're going to eat the most convenient and most satisfying meal you can find.
Oh, that is facts. That's facts.
And so that's one of the biggest reasons I say, what are those top 3? Proteins, your carbs, and then your vegetables.
Okay.
What are your go-to carbs? You didn't name that.
Oh, okay. I named that too. So my go-to carbs are sweet potatoes. I like jasmine rice.
That's my favorite.
And oatmeal.
I didn't hear you say chips, though. Those are carbs.
Honestly, like I said, you can lose weight eating anything. Like I love eating Lay's chips, but I'm not going to eat that on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that might be just a treat that I might eat maybe once or twice throughout the week. But you know, we're creatures of habit and routine, and so if you start to throw those chips in there, and then let's say one bag of chips turns into two bag of chips, and one Reese's cup turns into 2 or 3 Reese's cups, and you know, one Coca-Cola turns into 2 or 3 Coca-Colas, or you know, and so it just compounds over time, and they're just not aware of it, and that's why I say self-awareness is so important, because over time you might not gain 5 pounds that week.
No, really.
And then the next week you might gain another pound or a pound or 2 pounds, depending on how fat what you eat, because a lot of times people drink so much alcohol they don't realize it, but alcohol packs a ton of calories. And people are literally drinking themselves to gain weight. They don't know that that's what it is, but that's a big part of it.
And even sodas, even you know, Kool-Aid made real sugar. You know what I'm saying? All of those. A lot of people drink their calories. I do try not to. Well, I'm not gonna even say I try not to. Most of the time I do not. My calories go other places, but the point that I'm saying is it's not drinks.
Yeah.
So it's not that, but I do got some other work to do.
And then Jay, when you said you could eat anything, so let's say I'm on a 1,200 calorie diet, and I decide my 1,200 for the day is going to be this Ben & Jerry's, and that's all I'm eating all day.
Ooh, you're gonna feel. What was that?
And that's about this. I think I looked at the card. It's like if I eat the whole thing, it's 1,050.
Yeah, and so, like I said, it's all about energy management, right? And so, even though that Ben & Jerry's, because I love eating Ben & Jerry's too, but even though you can eat that 1,200 calorie Ben & Jerry's, you're gonna feel horrible.
Yep.
Because
you're gonna plunge.
You know, like I said, you can drop weight eating that stuff, but you are going to feel horrible. You're going to find yourself having brain fog when you're waking up.
Yeah.
You're not going to have energy. Versus if you ate 1,200 calories worth of healthy food.
Oh my gosh, Crystal went all the way there.
It'll literally transform your life.
It will. Chris, you know? She said you'll be going to the bathroom all day. Chris.
I'll be running to the bathroom all day. Okay, Crystal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely you have to create some type of balance. That's why I said the pint. So this is why I try to stay away from them, because a pint seems so personal to me that you'll end up eating the whole pint. So if you ate already for the day, and then this Ben & Jerry's pint is 1,250 calories.
Your mine is 1,050.
Yeah, well, I've, didn't have 8 for 2 days. You see what I'm saying? So I have to be mindful.
Right.
And see, and like Jay said, it's all about moderation. Because when I do have a taste for some ice cream, Ben & Jerry's or Haagen-Dazs, whatever, I get the little mini minis.
Girl, I'm not getting that.
So the mini minis and the good flavors. But go on, Kalani.
They don't.
Yeah, so because I just want, like I said, this is me. This so I can get a taste, so I won't go overboard with the pints or the half a gallons and stuff like that.
Well, I don't go overboard with them, but what I'm saying is that the pint do seem personal, so it's very easy for people to do it, is what I'm saying. I don't personally do it because I know that I watch that, but a pint is so personal to people. You know what I'm saying? If they look up and ate the whole thing, and then they like, well, it was only a pint, but they don't pay attention to the nutrition label of what that pint is. In a classic case with a person that I know, every single day she treated her, and this is what made me think about it when Jay said this, she treated herself to those big cups, those Reese cups, the big ones though. I didn't even know these existed. And so the back of it, when I was reading the calories, just being nosy one day, it said one Reese cup was 450 calories, right? Well, she had 2 because 2 came in the pack. So one day she was like, I'm picking up so much weight. She was like, these kids, I got to get busy because I get home and I just be so tired. I'm trying to do with the kids. So one day she came back and she had her Reese, she had her. I'm like, You ever thought about that's probably why you losing weight? I mean, gaining weight. And now we're just in a regular conversation. She's like, no, it can't be. This is a Reese cup. I'm like, girl, I never seen a Reese's that big though. So which made her flip over the thing. And she was like, girl, I'm eating 900 calories of Reese cups every single day.
Every day.
Yeah, because that's what's her death snack. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So she just wasn't thinking. She wasn't thinking. I mean,
to
me,
peanut butter. She was thinking peanut butter and protein, I'm sure, with a little time.
I don't know what she was thinking, but I ain't never seen no Reese cup that big in my life. You know, when we grew up, they was little. You know what I'm saying? They are triple that size, and then you're eating 2 of those every single day. So the weight snuck up, but it didn't really sneak up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's just so easy that for that pint. And the only reason why I'm saying that, because I know people who that pint is like a personal thing for them. So they're like,
it's a lot though.
Yeah, but when you go to some place like Cold Stone, they give you a pint. If you get that Love It size, that's a pint of ice cream. I don't know how people order that. I will order that small, because even that's a lot once they pack it. But to the average person, they're like, give me that Love It size. That's a pint of ice cream when you really think about it. People are greedy. We're greedy in America.
We're just passing judgment on folks. Let's not do
I'm
that.
not passing judgment. I said we're. I included myself. You know what I'm saying? I said we're greedy in America. I mean, we always want everything supersized, and if somebody give you a normal portion, you be mad. Like, this is
no, we are. Our portions in America is huge, because people from other countries, they look at it like it's twice or triple size the portions that were in their country.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. And you know what, Mom? I'm glad you brought that up, because Fitness Pal. Hey, I don't know if you teach your clients about Fitness Pal, but that is an excellent app to track your portions, calories, and track what you're actually eating a day. Do you suggest that to your client?
I do. So my online app, because I have an app, it syncs with my Fitness Pal, and so I give my members step by step what they need to eat and how much they need to eat and how often they need to eat. But I have them put those meals and those foods inside of my Fitness Pal.
Okay.
Because when they put it in my Fitness Pal, they're able to see how much they're eating. Because, like I said, it's self-awareness. And so a lot of times they were already eating the same foods, because, like I said, I have them eating the foods that they prefer to eat. But now when they look at my Fitness Pal and they see the portions that I give them, they're like, wow, this why I was gaining so much weight.
Right.
Eating way too much. You know?
And you don't realize it though. Like when you scanning that stuff every day and you really actually start counting that stuff and see that I'm just generically speaking, 2 pieces of turkey bacon is, let's say, 45 calories. And then 2 pieces of pork bacon is 135. And you like, okay, that's just 2 pieces. And I normally eat 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those little things, those track, writing down, even if you don't want to load the app, you just write down, because from the start of my day, which started at 3:30 in the morning, I'll be and forgot that I ate a breakfast biscuit. And what I mean by breakfast biscuits are those little things that you dip into your coffee, and they're like 150 calories. I'll be and forgot about that 150 calories, because now it's 6 o'clock. And I forgot what I ate at 4 a.m. You know what I mean? So it's good to write that stuff down. That was your food diary.
Yeah, that was your journal.
Yeah, so that's my journal.
You do that now, Jay. You track all your food.
No, I don't. So
okay.
These are things that I do on a daily basis, like with business ideas that might come up. I just write them in my journal, because it's all about, life is really about self-awareness. Like when people are like, well, you know, if I had an opportunity to speak to Oprah, right? Let's say you spoke to Oprah, but you don't know what questions to ask Oprah based on where you are in your life, because you may not have been self-aware enough to know, hey, if I speak to this person, what's the best question I can ask her to get the best answer based on where I am now?
Okay.
Most people won't know unless they have some type of self-awareness. And so the same thing goes with nutrition and diet. Like when you journal, whether you journal your foods inside of a journal like that, or if you put it in my Fitness Pal, you're just going to have so much more clarity around how much you're eating. And that way, let's say you're not seeing the weight come off. You can always go back to your journal or that MyFitnessPal app and say, okay, here's what I've been eating over the past few weeks or the past week. That didn't work. Let me cut it back a little bit, you know? Or you may say, well, I did drink this smoothie, and this smoothie, it had peanut butter and, you know, all these, everything else in there. And this is what had a lot of calories. Let me dial this back a little bit, but keep my other meals the same. And so it allows for you to just problem solve and figure out what's causing the results not to happen.
I like that. And you were talking about the salads. Now, I am particularly not a dressing person, except that salad that we get at Alexander. But some people will make the perfect salad, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a fatty salad, but then they'll put gobs of dressing. Yeah. So then they cancel out everything that they were doing. So what do you talk about with those people?
It's it's just like anything else. You got to do it not necessarily in moderation, but back in the days I used to eat a medium pizza, and sometimes I would even eat a large pepperoni pizza. But nowadays I don't work out every single day. I may only work out 3 or 4 days a week, and so I don't need to eat as much, and so I may only have a personal pan pizza. But if I gave myself a medium or large, chances are y'all might see Jay looking a little fluffy on social media.
I can't even imagine it.
I can't either.
And so to go even further, I love eating the big cup Reese's Cups too. That's my favorite. I love it.
Okay.
And the thing is, I don't keep them in my house.
Okay. You got to go get them.
Exactly. Because if I did keep them in my house, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat it every day if it's in my house. And so I believe for a lot of other people, you know, your environment shapes your reality, right?
That's true.
So if you stocked up on Coca-Cola, you got Coca-Cola to go for the next 6 months. You're going to be drinking that Coca-Cola dang near every day.
Right. Right.
Let me just admit something I did. So that brownie batter core ice cream, I could not find it in like 5 stores, right? And so when I came home, like, man, this is not meant to be. And then I realized, they probably have it at Walgreens. It was $2 more, but because they had 3, I bought all 3.
Ooh.
Why you sound like that,
Jamie?
It took me 3 days to eat. I'm just I ate them over within 5 days. And I think I gave my kids some, but I'm like, I couldn't believe I couldn't find it. When I did, like you said, it was in the house.
Yeah.
And it was available.
But let me say this. I've noticed they've been stocking it more because I always walk by to see if they have it. And because I ate so much of it, I don't even want it that much even anymore. So that's a plus, right?
Yeah.
So now, that, Jay.
You know, I've actually done that. Like, I've eaten a certain food because Piece of Cake is right down the street from me. I don't know if y'all have heard of Piece of Cake. They make cupcakes and they give you slices of cake like red velvet cake and foods like that. And I just went on this binge of eating cake pretty much every week. But I would notice after eating it, maybe 5-10 minutes later, I'd feel horrible. And so I just said, I got to get this out of my system to where I just don't want it anymore. And I literally started eating it more often to the point where I just got disgusted with eating it. And I'm not telling other people to do that, but I heard somewhere that's one way that they help people get over smoking cigarettes. They have the person smoke cigarettes so often that they just get disgusted with wanting to smoke the cigarettes. And they're like, I don't even want this no more. It's kind of like, let's say when you're a child, your parents may have had you eat something so often, and you're like, I don't even want to eat this food no more.
Right, because I will never eat another tuna casserole in my life.
There you go.
Ever. My mother, and I know she's listening, but
no, and that happens too because now my kids call spaghetti a trap meal. Like we eat spaghetti more than Italians. It's a trap meal.
The trap meal.
That is hilarious.
Yes, I like what Crystal said about Jay, which is so nice. You can't see the comments, can you, Jay?
I can't.
Okay, so she said Mr. Jackson seems to have a quiet and kind personality. He will not yell at you when you mess up your regimen.
No, I won't yell, but I'm give you a little bit of tough love. You know, I think that's important because if I'm the tough guy, I mean, if I'm the nice guy with my clients, then they're gonna kind of feel like, okay, well, I can do it again, and you know, he won't really jump down on me. But if I'm a little bit more tough love, but without being like the drill sergeant type tough love, you know, I just let them know, hey, listen, you know, here's why you started. You remember you started because of X reason, the motivating reason, right? Because that's how you get people's emotions. Whether it's, hey, you said you wanted to drop 30 pounds because you want to have more energy to run around with your grandchildren, right? Is it still important to you? Yeah, it's still important. All right. Well, look, let's go into next week and with the reset. You know, let's refocus. You know, so that's how that coaching would look. And so it's not super nice, but it's like, hey, look.
That's better than Weight Watchers.
You need that though. You need people like that, because if you have a person that's just gonna let you get away with everything, then by the time it's all said and done, you like, I wasted my money. You know what I'm saying?
Like I was Weight Watchers for so long. Whenever I would lose weight, you know, they'll sign your card and give it back to you and give you a little smile. The week that I gained, it was just like I felt like I had like a scarlet S or like F on my chest or something, because she just slid it back like, like, can I you get back on track next week? You got this. Like,
that probably was part of her strategy. That don't work for everybody though.
No, because I was mad. I don't think I went back. I'm like, I don't appreciate that.
You're like, I feel some kind of way. I really, really hate to end this, but Jay, we have to talk about your book first, you know, because, you know, we have to talk about this. Everybody know Jay just came out with this book that, I got this picture of you too, Jay. We'll show this. Jay book. Yeah, that was that turtleneck that we first seen him on. I'm like, really? But tell us about the book. Tell us about the book.
All right. So this book has actually been out for a year. I launched this book last December. And so basically I do a relaunch every year. But it's all about the steps to being able to get rid of stomach fat, belly fat, the love handles, the lower back fat, whatever it is. I show people what steps I take to help my members get the body fat off, get the stomach fat off. Because a lot of times you hear about so many misconceptions, and there's so much information out here. It's like we live in the information age. You could just go over to YouTube University and you're going to see 1,000 videos about stomach fat, belly fat, everything under the sun. But
that's true.
A lot of people get overwhelmed with what things to believe and what things to trust. And so that's why I wanted to write a book, to just organize the steps. Because when you organize it, now it's like, okay, I need to do this, 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 and that's going to give me X result. And it's simple, super short, to the point. It's about, I think it's 48 pages, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's
okay. Where can they find it, Jay?
Over on Amazon.com.
Okay.
Amazon.com, and just type in Gut to Abs by Jay Jackson. And
okay.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody to follow Jay on Instagram, Facebook. I know you're on some other platforms as well.
Yeah, Instagram. My handle is the same on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Jay Jackson Official. Jay Jackson Official. And
he's talking to everybody every day. So I mean, every day you're gonna get some type of motivational speech from him. That's worth it enough if you really need those extra steps and those pushes to stay connected to your goals or whatever. That's a good place to be.
And before we end, I do know, Jay, I want to connect with you to talk about your online training. to see if you can help all the way from Michigan. But before you do that, because there may be someone that may not be able to get to you online, is it feasible though to lose like that chunk of weight, like 50 by 50, like 50 pounds in 6 months? Is that really possible?
It's possible. I've had somebody lose as much as 48 pounds in 4 months working with me. Yeah.
With you or on their own? Because is it healthy? I should ask that.
Yeah, it is. Just depending on how much weight that person needs to lose, and how fast they want to lose it. You know, and if they're disciplined, you can definitely lose 50 pounds in 6 months. You know,
they gain it back in the 7th month.
Nah,
No.
as long as they don't revert back to the old ways, they'll be able to keep the weight off.
Okay.
But
yeah, you can do it, Tanya.
That's
I didn't put it out there now.
There you go. Yeah, and you can do it. It's just all about just having the right plan, knowing what's the best diet regimen, the workout regimen that's going to work the best for you. Because some of my members, they work out at home. I give them routines for at home, and then other people they go to the gym. And so, knowing when you walk in the gym, you already know step by step what exercise to do, how many reps, how many sets, how much cardio to do. Same thing with the food, how much to eat, how often do you need to eat, how much you need to eat. And when you know those things, it takes the think work out of it. And that's more so what I do for all my online members.
Okay.
Nice. So everybody know this is it. Jay, first of all, we want to thank you for once again for coming on the show. Again.
I appreciate it.
Like I said, me and Tanya, we're speaking it into existence. We're going to be in Atlanta next year.
I have to show off my lost 50 pounds.
We got some marvelous things planned for next year. So maybe Atlanta will be one of our stops and we could do some stuff in person. We're just looking forward to some things. So we're going to make a toast for the new year, Christmas, well wishes, and all that stuff. We have a few seconds. Everybody's going to go around and talk about something that they just want to toast to. It could be anything, whatever your heart's desires. So if you guys have glasses, some water, I have Crystal Light here just so, people don't be thinking of. It don't matter what you're drinking because, but I just happen to have Crystal Light. To raise your glasses up because this has been a heck of a year. I don't know about everybody else, but for me, it's been a rough year. I went through the COVID thing. I came over and for everybody who's just had a rough time, even during this holiday season, we just want to wish you well, wish you the best success in the upcoming year. Things are going to get better. And I'm going to pass my toast to Kalani. Kalani, what do you want to toast?
Just focus on being a better version of you next year.
Yes, I like that one. That's always a good one. What about you, Ty?
Just being whole in every way. Once you commit to something, just do that 100% of just being whole, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in all areas of your life. So
yes,
that's
I like that too.
For myself and for everyone.
What about you, Jay?
I want to say, don't focus on perfection. Just focus on getting it done. Don't be so hard on yourself. Everybody, we're all human, and so it doesn't have to be perfect. And if there's something that you want to do in your life, don't neglect it. Don't put it off for later. Get it done now. And even if it's not perfect, we are imperfect. And so just take action and allow your action to, bring your vision to life, whatever it is you want to accomplish and do.
Yes. And with that being said, everybody raise your glasses and click. Now, this may be the last show of the year, but next year, we coming at y'all. We going all the way there. We got some marvelous things lined up. We got some great sponsorship, and we have some commercial ads coming, but we got some meetings to hold. But we just want you to know that next year, just I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people, especially if you're on social media, and just sometimes going through that timeline can be so downtrodden. Focus on some of the beautiful things that you have, life being one, your family, your friends, new developments like Kalani is getting ready to venture off into. And don't try not to focus on the things that we do not have. I know that is so much easier said than done, but at the end of the day, try not to focus on that because that's what keeps people so down and so depressed. We want you guys to have a better year next year, mentally, spiritually, and physically. And we're going to dominate next year.
Yes, we
I
are.
can feel it. We are going to dominate next year. I can feel it. I can feel it in my blood. Or it might be somebody else's blood. Not my blood. The blood of the Lord. But it's going to be a good year. So we're going to go out, and my mom says she want to toast All the Way There podcast. Keep bringing to us professionals to help us be better us in 2022. We got you covered. We got you covered. We going all the way there. So, Jay, thanks again. I'm sure, like I said, we will see you next year. Definitely. That is a definite. We'll stay connected. And everybody have a wonderful Christmas, a beautiful new year, and stay encouraged, stay positive, and have a good one.
Have a good one.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Be safe, be well. Bye.
Yes. Oh, wait. We got 30 seconds. You know, Tanya.
Oh, the challenge is basically if you make a resolution, make it something that you can reach. Don't put it so far up that you feel like you have to beat yourself down, like Jay said. Be positive. Don't beat yourself down. You don't have to be perfect. So just choose something that you know you could do. And once you reach that, then set another one. Because a resolution doesn't have to be just for the year. You can set it for month by month. So if it's like me losing weight, 10 pounds in 2 months, you do that, add another.
Yeah.
Don't be so hard on yourself. And focus on the people that love you, not the people that hate you. The people that hate you and don't want to be around you, they could get the twos. Because those people try to bring you down. So that's it.
Them. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, all the way there, audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye,
Kalani. Well, we'll see you again.
Yes.
We'll see you again. Yes, definitely. This is not the end. This is
No.
All right. See y'all later.